All right, let's say a couple of words about the background for unknowns analysis. Unknowns analysis is a high throughput, fully automated technique which lists tentatively identified compounds for each sample in a target batch. So when we run unknowns analysis, you'll be asked for the batch, the library you want to search against. You'll be allowed to set any parameters that you want to adjust. You can generate a report associated with that, and it will go through sample by sample and produce a sample-based analysis giving you a list of unknowns. Let me paraphrase the following description: that gas chromatography mass spectrometry methods can fail when acquired spectra are contaminated by matrix or interferences with extraneous mass spectral peaks. Commonly arise from co-eluting compounds and ionization chamber contaminants. These extraneous peaks can pose a problem for automated identification mechanisms where they cause identifications to be missed by reducing the spectral comparison factor below preset identification thresholds. And this is where unknowns analysis with deconvolution and library search comes in play. So with unknowns analysis, the way that this technique is applied is that after analyzing the target batch, some users may want to know about other non-target compounds that are contained within the sample. And often this is a very labor-intensive procedure where somebody will interactively try to look through the chromatogram and extract out other components or compounds and identify them. Unknowns analysis is an automated way to produce that list and is quite effective when you have a lot of samples and you're trying to process them through that technique. There are several criteria or prerequisites for unknowns analysis. First, it must be scanned data, so we have the spectral information. And it's only applied to target samples. It does not get run on calibration or QC samples. The quantitation method is expected to be defined for the target batch, so we don't end up reporting the same target compounds in the unknowns list. And also, in terms of estimating the concentration, we do use the average response factors of all the targets in order to make an estimate of the concentration of the unknown. Let's take a look at the steps in the algorithm. First, we keep only a certain number of hits based on the parameters, and also we identify and drop low scoring unlikely hits, again controlled by the parameters. And for each remaining hit now, we add that compound to the unknowns method. We set a column at the compound level, which records the retention time in base MZ of the component. And then there's a filtering out to make sure that the target compounds, which have already been analyzed in the target batch, are not re-reported. And then there is elimination of any duplicate compounds so you don't get multiple hits for the same compound. Last, let's take a look at the parameters associated with compound identification. Several, for example, are the maximum compounds per component. So these are adjusting the number of hits that are returned, the minimum match score, the minimum ions that are required in a component, and then several others which, again, adjust the number of hits that you're going to get returned and can be adjusted based on the kind of data that you acquire.